Okay, hi, welcome to a very special CRYONEWS. It is October 9th, 2023, and first I have some very bad news. In general, it's bad news. Hamas has attacked Israel, I guess 48 hours ago now. Some people came in with paragliders and stuff, and they attacked the festival, and there's at least 200 people dead there. But total now, 2 days later, there's reported over 700 dead Israelis and at least 424 casualties dead in Gaza, presumably Palestinians and Hamas. Presumably there's civilians on both sides, as well as attackers that are getting killed. But it's just terrible. There's a war right now, and Israel is just totally pummeling Gaza and bombing seemingly random buildings, I guess, that they think might have Hamas in it, or maybe not. They're really pissed that they got attacked. Israel is very pissed that they got attacked by Hamas. And it's been reported that Israel has been bombing southern Lebanon, because apparently some of the bad guys came from Lebanon. And over 1,000 dead, and could be a lot more. Some people are saying World War III. I don't think it's going to lead to that, but it is weird that some allegedly people who can remote view and stuff and maybe predict some of these events say that they predicted some kind of natural disaster or big event coming. There we go. Now that I've gotten the main news out of the way, I've got a lot of science stuff. So if you want more Israel-Palestine stuff, I've got some shorts on my channel, but this is mostly now I'm just going to read science, interesting science articles, and some gaming stuff that I found since August. I've been wanting to read this stuff for a while. Just sucks with the Israel-Gaza situation, because Israel has been suppressing the Palestinians for like 75 years, so it's not okay that they attacked Israel. That's not okay. That's wrong to murder civilians and other people. However, it's understandable that when you abuse a people or a population, they're going to lash out eventually. Alright, let's start from Slashdot. How an Apple AirTag tracked lost luggage much better than United. I love this story. CNN tells the story of Sandra Schuster, who'd included an AirTag with her daughter's 2000 lacrosse kit on a flight to Denver, with a stopover in Chicago's O'Hare Airport. When they arrived at Denver after midnight, the bag wasn't on the belt. United representatives at Denver gave them a case number and told them the bag should arrive on the 8:30 a.m. flight from Chicago in just a few hours. When it didn't, Schuster called the toll-free number for lost baggage that she'd been given. They said, "Your bag's going to come in later today on one of the two flights." I said, "Okay, great," but it never came, so I called later that afternoon. They said, "Your bag is still in Baltimore," says Schuster. There was just one problem. She already knew it wasn't in Baltimore. 3 months earlier, Schuster had bought an AirTag, Apple's tracking device, to know where her daughter's bag was. A GPS, basically. The AirTag was showing as being at baggage claim at O'Hare. I told them I could see it at Terminal 1 baggage reclaim in Chicago, and they said, "We have no record of it." I asked them to call Chicago, and they said, "No, we're not allowed to." They said they'd put notes in the system, and the baggage team would take care of it. The airline had mistakenly attached another customer's baggage claim number to the luggage, so when it arrived at the stopover in Chicago, baggage handlers couldn't know its ultimate destination, and it was moved to the reclaim belt. There were several more communication misfires, but fortunately, Schuster had more than 30,000 unused air miles. I jumped on the plane, flew to Chicago, got to bag claim, and it took 30 seconds to give me my bag. What was difficult to comprehend was that it would have taken one call to Chicago to locate it, and nobody seemed to be able to do that. You can't tell me in this day and age, with all the technology available, that they can't figure out this stuff. Airlines need to do better. United later refunded Schuster's air miles, along with an apology for the inconvenience you experienced on your recent trip with United. I just thought it's amazing that people can know where their stuff is more than, like, the police or corporations sometimes. Oof. This comment. You can't tell me that they can't figure this stuff out. Of course they can't. They don't give a fuck. Once they have your money, your calls are a liability, and they want you to go away with minimal effort. As a regulated cartel, they're incentivized to actively not care. Only true competition could change that. That's someone referring to the airlines. I pointed out in the last discussion about this that checked baggage getting on a plane without its corresponding passenger is generally considered a security risk. Think Air India 182. These stories about lost baggage suggest to me that it probably happens all the time. So, not just bad customer service, but bad security processes as well. Alright, that's an interesting story. Scientists have made a discovery that could change our understanding of the universe, from scitechdaily.com. In 2020, the team discovered that the viscosity of liquids is determined by fundamental physical constraints, setting a limit on how runny a liquid can be. Now, this result is taken into the realm of life sciences. Fundamental physics constraints shape the fabric of the universe we live in. Physical constraints are quantities with a value that is generally believed to be both universal in nature and remain unchanged over time. What do you think about that, Boots? That's my cat down there. But if I move the camera, it's going to be all like... Anyway. They govern nuclear reactions. An electron, the mass of the electron, they govern nuclear reactions, can lead to the formation of molecular structures essential to life, but their origin is unknown. The research might bring scientists one step to determining where these constraints come from. The role of viscosity in life. Understanding how water flows in a cup turns out to be closely related to the grand challenge to figure out fundamental constants. Life processes in and between living cells require motion, and it is viscosity that sets the properties of this motion. If fundamental constants change, viscosity would change too, impacting life as we know it. For example, if water was as viscous as tar, life would not exist. As viscous as tar, life would not exist in its current form, or not at all. This applies beyond water to all life forms. Using the liquid state to function would be affected. Any fundamental change to the constant. Yes, it's very interesting how the constants of the universe bring rise to life. It's a definite. Ow! He stretched out his hand. And, okay, you can be on the channel. Fine. You shouldn't do that to get my attention. But okay, you're on the channel. There you go. CRYONEWS with Boots. There you go. I love you. Are you God? Are you an angel? Are you an ET? We love you. We love you. Anyway, it is interesting, and yeah, he's okay. He's just got his claw on my thing like he likes me when I'm trying. That the constants of life in the universe make it so life is possible. So definitely leads to a creator type. I could see where people go with that. Whew. Scientists discover new microglial population important for memory and learning. Following more than 7 years of research, scientists have discovered a new key cell type with a critical role in the development process of memory and learning. This breakthrough has been published in prestigious journal Nature Neuroscience. The research, led jointly by the University of Seville, IBIS, and Karolinska Institute, helps to understand how neural systems with decisive functions for human behavior mature. Roles of microglia, and their role in brain development. The group of immune cells found in the central nervous system is known as microglia. Immune cells found in the central nervous system. These cells act as the central nervous system's first line of defense against injury, infection, and other threats. They also play a major role in maintaining neuronal homeostasis, eliminating waste, and remodeling synapses. Okay, so these things are like little anti-inflammatory things. That's from newsmedical.net. News-medical.net. The biotech company says it put dopamine-making cells into people's brains. This is from Slashdot, but it's from another site, too. It's from technologyreview.com. Okay, the experiment to treat Parkinson's is a critical early test of stem cells' potential to tackle serious disease. In an important test for stem cell medicine, a biotech company says implants of lab-made neurons introduced into the brains of 12 people with Parkinson's disease appear to be safe and may have reduced symptoms for some of them. The added cells should produce the neurotransmitter dopamine, a shortage of which is what produces the devastating symptoms of Parkinson's, including problems moving. And I've read they're also looking into putting that stuff into people's brains that might be addicts or addicted, because it could help replenish your dopamine cells. But obviously you got to be real careful with stuff like that. Real careful. But I love it. I love it. Putting dopamine cells into people's brains. I love it. That's why I love this news thing. Even if it's slow and plodding, we're making progress here, society. Quantum yin-yang shows two photons being entangled in real time. The stunning experiment, which reconstructs the properties of entangled photons from a 2D interface pattern, could be used to design faster quantum computers. It'll look like this. Looks terrible. But it looks cool when it's all close up. That's from space.com or any Google search. That was a big story. SciTechDaily.com. The missing link in cognitive processing? Scientists discover swirling spirals in the brain. Oh, cool. September 4th, 2023. Thank you. Scientists have discovered that the human brain signals form swirling spirals on the outer layer of neural tissue, which plays a cognitive role in reorganizing brain activity and cognitive processes. This discovery, based on fMRI scans, could advance our understanding of brain dynamics, potentially leading to better computational models and insights into brain diseases like dementia. The findings have the potential to advance both computing and the understanding of the human brain. It just said understanding of the brain, but I presume they're talking about the human brain here. Yeah. The University of Sydney and Fudan University scientists have found human brain signals traveling across the outer layer of neural tissue that naturally arrange themselves to resemble swirling spirals. I knew it. Like when you think there's spirals, it's connected, and blah, blah, blah. So cool. So cool. See, during both rest and cognitive activity play a role in organizing brain function and cognitive processes. Yeah. Branches and spirals and fractals. SciTechDaily.com. Faster than can be explained. Photonic time crystals could revolutionize optics. Researchers have produced photonic time crystals in the near visible spectrum, potentially revolutionizing light science applications. This breakthrough expands the previously understood range of PTCs, which were only seen in radio waves. A recent study reveals oscillations in the refractive index that are faster than can be explained by current theories. Woo! Alright, let's just browse this real quick. Which is the electromagnetic radiation in a medium compared to its speed in a vacuum? It's possible to produce photonic time crystals to the near visible spectrum. PTC materials in which the refractive index rises and falls rapidly in time are the temporal equivalent of photonic crystals in which the refractive index oscillates periodically in space, causing, for example, the iridescence of precious minerals and insect wings. Interesting stuff. Very complicated, but interesting. Especially anything that says time crystal. I'm like, cool. Time crystal. Scientists discover that pure math is written into evolutionary genetics. ScienceAlert.com. Mathematicians delight in the beauty of math so that many of us don't see. But nature is a wonderful realm in which to observe beauty born out of mathematical relationships. The natural world provides seemingly endless patterns underpinned by numbers, and if we can recognize them. Luckily for us, a motley team of researchers has just uncovered another striking connection between math and nature, between one of the purest forms of mathematics, number theory, and the mechanisms governing the evolution of life on molecular scales, genetics. Oh boy. Abstract as it may be, number theory might also be one of the more familiar forms of math. To many of us, it encompasses the multiplication, subtraction, division, and addition arithmetic functions of integers or whole numbers and their counterparts. You want that, or you go look for it. It's too big brain for me right now. But I like all this stuff. I love this science stuff so much, and what I can understand is amazing. Could an Earth-like planet be hiding in our solar system's outer reaches? Space.com. Astronomers are racing to explain peculiar orbits of faraway objects at the edge of our solar system. They've been predicting that sort of stuff for a while, so we just gotta keep going. Black hole snack attack. NASA's swift spy sun-like star being consumed bite by bite. In this artist's conception. Alright, so a black hole is sucking up a star. Cool. But we don't really have many pictures of that sort of stuff. We have a sort of picture of a black hole, which I'm showing now, hopefully, on screen. And it looks kind of, low res, but yeah. That's because a bunch of different telescopes all over the planet took the picture of this black hole. I think it's at the center of our Milky Way galaxy, or near there. And they had to combine all the images or the observations into one to make an image. Here's a new one. ScienceAlert.com. Earth's core appears to be wrapped in an ancient unexpected structure. The most high-resolution map yet of the underlying geology beneath Earth's southern hemisphere reveals something we previously never knew about, an ancient ocean floor that may wrap around the core. That is cool. This thin but dense layer exists around 2,900 kilometers, or 1,800 miles, below the surface, according to a study published in April. That depth is where the molten metallic outer core meets the rocky mantle above. Seismic investigations such as ours provide the highest resolution imaging of the interior structure of our planet. We are finding that this structure is vastly more complicated than once thought. So that's so cool. Understanding exactly what's beneath our feet in as much detail as possible is vital for studying everything from volcanic eruptions to the variation in Earth's magnetic field, which protects us from the solar radiation in space. Very cool. Wow. Hassan, and her colleagues used 15 monitoring stations buried in the ice of Antarctica to map seismic waves from earthquakes over 3 years. The way those waves move and bounce reveals the composition of the material inside Earth. Because the sound waves move slower in these areas, they're called ultra-low velocity zones. Analyzing seismic recordings from Antarctica, a high-definition imaging method found thin anomalous zones of material at the CBM everywhere we probed. The material's thickness varies from a few kilometers to tens of kilometers. This suggests we are seeing mountains on the core, in some places up to 5 times taller than Mount Everest. According to researchers, these ULVZs are most likely oceanic crust buried over millions of years. How cool is that? Oh, yeah, while the sunken crust isn't close to recognized subduction zones or the surface zones where shifting tectonic plates push the rock down at Earth's interior, simulations reported in the study show how convection currents could have shifted the ancient ocean floor to its current resting place. Still theories, but sometimes things just start with theories. Let's get this. Down the quantum rabbit hole, Alice Ring, Discovery offers glimpse into the otherworldly realm. Yeah, you need to take a break. Woo! Wow. Experiments promote a curious flip side of decaying monopoles, a reality where particle physics is quite literally turned on its head. The field of quantum physics is rife with paths leading to tantalizing new areas of study, but one rabbit hole offers a unique vantage point into the world where particles behave differently through the proverbial looking glass, dubbed the Alice Ring after Lewis Carroll's world-renowned stories on Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. The appearance of this object verifies a decades-old theory on how monopoles decay, specifically that they decay into a ring-like vortex where any other monopoles passing through its center are flipped into their opposite magnetic charges. Yeah, magnetic monopoles. Understanding monopoles. Monopoles remain an elusive concept in the arena of quantum physics. As the name suggests, monopoles are the solitary counterpart of dipoles, which carry a positive charge at their north pole and a negative charge at the south. In contrast, a monopole carries only either a positive or a negative charge. While the concept sounds simple, realizing a true monopole has proven to be a career-defining task. Here's how the monopole collaboration has done it. They manipulated a gas of rubidium atoms, prepared in a non-magnetic state near absolute zero temperature. Under these extreme conditions, they were able to create a monopole by steering a 0 point of a three-dimensional magnetic field into the quantum gas. The emergence of Alice rings. These quantum monopoles are ephemeral by nature, decaying a few milliseconds after creation. It is within these instability that the Alice ring takes shape. Think of the monopole as an egg teetering at the top of a hill. Motonen said, the slightest perturbations, I'm not saying it right, perturbation, maybe I am, can send it crashing down. In the same way, monopoles are subject to noise that triggers their decay into Alice rings. While monopoles are short-lived, the research group simulated stable Alice rings for as long as 84 milliseconds, over 20 times longer than the monopole lifespan. This leads researchers to be optimistic that future experiments will reveal even more peculiar properties of Alice rings. It is from this perspective that everything seems to be mirrored, as if the ring were a gateway into a world of antimatter instead of matter. the world takes a different shape when peering through the center of the ring. In theory, a monopole passing through the center of an Alice ring would be transformed into an anti-monopole of opposite charge. Correspondingly, the Alice ring's charge would change as well. While this phenomenon has not yet been experimentally observed, Mautonon said the topological structure of Alice rings necessitates this behavior. That is so cool. It is simply amazing to have such a major discovery in that as the finale of my PhD work, Blanova said. Yeah, that's cool. I love this monopole stuff. Wonder if there could be like a big pulsar or something in space. I know there's like magnetars and stuff. What if there's a magnetic monopole magnetar? Just like something. I don't know. That'd be cool. That's from SciTech Daily. Astronomers spot the first bounce in our universe. Oh, this is cool. A spherical structure nearly 1 billion light years wide has been spotted in the nearby universe, dating all the way back to the Big Bang. That's right. I sent this one to Joseph. Bigthink.com. All throughout the universe, regions that start off with more matter than average gravitationally grow into stars, galaxies, and even larger structures, while underdense regions give up their matter to become cosmic voids. But imprinted in this structure are bouncing signals from early on, where gravitational normal matter was pushed out by the radiation from energetic radiation. This should lead to a series of spherical shells of structure in the universe, baryonic acoustic oscillations. like that. Maybe not. I don't know. Thought to be a largely statistical phenomenon. Astronomers now appear to have robustly spotted an individual one. That is so cool. Illustration of clustering patterns due to baryonic acoustic oscillations. That's cool. The James Webb Telescope just measured the expansion rate of the universe. Astronomers are stumped. September 14th, 2023, ScienceAlert.com. Let's not get too much into this, because they're always measuring, and the measurements are always weird. The finding is in agreement with measurements made by the Hubble Space Telescope. This means there's no error in the Hubble data, and we're still at an impasse. Disagreement between different measurement methods known as Hubble tension remains intact, so we're going to have to rely on some other way of figuring out how fast our universe is expanding. The universe around us may appear unchanging, but everything we see is actually moving away at a tremendous rate. Known as the Hubble constant, or H0, it's unclear how fast H0 precisely, because different ways of measuring it return different results. One way is by looking at relics of the early universe, such as leftover light in the cosmic microwave background radiation, or acoustic waves frozen in time. I wonder if that's referring to the other one. This ginormous bubble of nearby galaxies could be a relic of the Big Bang. Oh, that's so cool. This is from another article. An arrangement of galaxies in a giant bubble has been found not far from the Milky Way, and astronomers believe it could be a relic of the early universe. Ah, that's so fucking cool. That one and the previous article. So cool. Alright, let's finish up some science. Let's do a little more science, and then we'll go to video games. Maybe I'll do another part or something, because this is going to take like over an hour at this point. I got so much news. Harnessing the Void. MIT controls quantum randomness for the first time. SciTechDaily.com. Groundbreaking study demonstrates control over quantum fluctuations, unlocking potential for probabilistic computing and ultra-precise field sensing. That's cool. Team of researchers from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, has achieved a milestone in quantum technologies, demonstrating for the first time the control of quantum randomness. The team of researchers focused on a unique feature of quantum physics known as vacuum fluctuations. You might think of a vacuum as a completely empty space without matter or light. However, in the quantum world, even this empty space experiences fluctuations or changes. Imagine a calm sea that suddenly gets waves. That's similar to what happens in a vacuum at the quantum level. Previously, these fluctuations have allowed scientists to generate random numbers. They're also responsible for many fascinating phenomena that quantum scientists have discovered over the past 100 years. The findings were described recently. Computing in a new light. Conventionally, computers function in a deterministic manner, executing step-by-step instructions that follow a set executing is step-by-step instructions that follow a set of predefined rules and algorithms. In this paradigm, if you run the same operation multiple times, you always get the exact same outcome. This deterministic approach has powered our digital age, but it has its limitations, especially when it comes to simulating the physical world or optimizing complex systems. Tasks that often involve vast amounts of uncertainty and randomness. This is where the concept of probabilistic computing comes into play. Probabilistic computing systems leverage the intrinsic randomness of certain processes to perform computations. They don't just provide a single right answer, but rather a range of possible outcomes, each with its associated probability. This inherently makes them well suited to simulate physical phenomena and tackle optimization problems where multiple solutions could exist and where exploration of various possibilities can lead to a better solution. Cool. So much science. Okay, I'll read some more science later. I'm all pooped out of science. I'm pooped. I don't know if anyone's still watching this. 14 years later, the Deus Ex mod that's a better sequel than Invisible War gets a massive overhaul. That's right, guys. The Nameless mod 2.0 is here. This is from PC Gamer. I'll just read this and then move on. For my money, the Nameless mod is one of the best Deus Ex experiences out there. It's a lengthy total conversion mod for the original Deus Ex that transplants the original masterpiece's immersive sim balance into a tale set in Deus Ex fan form. And it's much, much better than that pitch that makes it sound. One of the best things to come from Deus Ex. I played it a little bit. Wasn't impressed. But I didn't play very much of it. I only played the beginning. So I should probably play more of it. Paradigm Shift. Airless bike tires made with NASA technology are now on. What are they now on? On sale. Cool. Interestingengineering.com. Hidden. Well. Neutrinos, ghost particles, can interact with light after all. Neutrinos, the tricky little particles that just stream through the universe like it's virtually nothing, may actually interact with light after all. According to new calculations, interactions between neutrinos and photons can take place in powerful magnetic fields that can be found in the plasma wrapped around stars. Wow, so neutrinos can be affected by, well, that would be good, I mean, to know. Like a black hole for a star. ScientificDaily.com. The Unknown, a database of human genes we know almost nothing about. Researchers from the UK have developed a publicly accessible database, the Unknown, UNKNOME, which lists thousands of understudied proteins encoded by human genes. By assessing a knownness score to each protein based on existing scientific knowledge, the platform aids researchers in exploring these proteins' functions, many of which play critical roles in cellular processes. Accelerating research by sharpening the focus on unknown proteins. Cool. Collaborations. SciTechDaily.com. This is from quantamagazine.org. Physics observe unobservable quantum phase transition, measurements, and entanglement both have a spooky, non-local flavor to them. Now physicists are harnessing the non-locality to probe the spread of quantum information and control it. Cool. Quantum Magazine, if you want to check that out. September 11th, 2023. Physics observe unobservable quantum phase transition. One of the FBI's most wanted hackers is trolling the U.S. government. TechCrunch.com. Yeah, earlier this year, the U.S. government indicted Russian hacker Mikhail Matveev, also known by his online monkey ears as Wazawaka, and Boriselin, maybe, accusing him of being a prolific ransomware affiliate who carried out significant attacks against companies and critical infrastructure in the U.S. and everywhere. That's bad. But feds are accusing him of being a central figure. Matev, who the FBI believes he remains in Russia, is unlikely to face extradition to the United States. For Matev, however, life seems to go on so well that he is now taunting the feds by making a T-shirt with his own most wanted poster and asking his Twitter followers if they want merch. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. I don't like the designation hacker. We are a separate type of specialist, practical on using our knowledge and resources without water and writing articles. He wrote in an X direct message, I was motivated only in terms of financial motivation. Roughly speaking, I was thinking about what to do. Sell people or become it sick. Let me tell you how I lost my finger. At that point, Mativ stopped answering messages. The FBI declined to comment. Alright. How to play Cyberpunk 2077 in VR on PC VR. I would like to learn that eventually. Come on, anything but fucking science. Palo Santo. I want to get some Palo Santo. It's like, it's supposed to be like Hollywood or something. I figured maybe I could just buy some plants and, like, grow my own wood. Prized by shamans since the Incan era, the Palo Santo sticks are used for its spiritual purifying process to cleanse of male energia, bad energy. It is said that uplifting scents help with meditation and relaxation, enhances creativity, and brings good fortune to those who are open to its magic. Cool, I guess. Palo Santa. I'm also probably going to get some crystals and hope that enhances my telepathic powers. Seriously, that's what they say. That's what the UFO woo-woo community says get crystals. Well, they don't say get crystals, but a lot of people there do use them. So, I don't know, it sounds crazy to me too, but the fact that you can actually use crystals in science, these things, and they like have hertz and frequencies and stuff, makes me think, oh, I might need a little bit do that. Or a lot. Reinfeldt, I want to see Reinfeldt. That's the Nicolas Cage movie. Brainless brilliance. Jellyfish stun scientists with learning skills. Based. Jellyfish learning abilities, challenging neuroscientific notions. Even without a central brain, jellyfish can learn from past experiences. Like humans, mice, and fleas, scientists report for the first time. They trained Caribbean box jellyfish, Tripedalia cystophoria, to learn to spot and dodge obstacles. The study challenges previous notions that advanced learning requires a centralized brain and sheds light on the evolutionary roots of learning and memory. Complex vision in a simple creature. That's so amazing. That was from SciTechDaily.com. Scientists zero in on life-threatening fungus. Candida auris' ability to stick. In 2009, a mysterious fungus emerged seemingly from out of nowhere, targeting the most vulnerable among us. It sounds like Hollywood, but the fungus in question poses a very real threat. Scientists are scrambling to figure out what makes the life-threatening fungus Candida auris tick, and why even the best infection control protocols in hospitals and other care settings often fail to get rid of it. So this thing can actually, like, stick to surfaces. That's what's most interesting. Researchers at the University of Michigan have zeroed in on C. auris' uncanny ability to stick to everything from skin to catheters and made a startling discovery. The paper, quote, a Candida auris specific adhesion, SCF1, governs surface association, colonization, and virulence, has been published in Science. Has discovered that C. auris is unlike any other known fungus in that it employs a type of protein called an adhesion, ADHESIN, that acts very similar to those used by oceanic organisms such as barnacles and mollusks. So that makes sense. Interesting stuff. PC Gamer. Missing faces, levitating bodies, and NPCs with no respect for personal space, a celebration of Bethesda's jank. Starfield's NPCs are the wretches in the open-world machine I've come to crave, thanks to a long history of janky Bethesda's RPGs. That's from PCGamer.com. Yeah, I will say I like Starfield a lot so far. Mostly. I mean, it's fun, it's a little janky, but it's addicting, and you get into it, and then you just kind of want to keep going. I really want to go through the main quests before, like, all the side quests, because I don't want to spoil too much, but I know there's a new game plus, and I know that interesting things happen if you carry your save to the new game plus. Interesting things happen, really interesting things, and I want to see those interesting things, so I'm kind of just trying to go through the game. Can I use rage as motivation? Yes. Rage map! Researchers warn that shouting at kids can have lifelong impacts on par with physical or sexual abuse. That sucks. Try not to yell at your kids. Don't yell at your kids. It's probably impossible for some people, but try not to yell at your kids. Thousands of Android devices come with unkillable backdoor pre-installed. Only like there's like a few. They're not like every Android phone. When you buy a TV streaming box, there are certain things you wouldn't expect it to do. It shouldn't secretly be laced with malware or start communicating with servers in China when it's powered up. No, it should not. Discovered that a cheap Android TV streaming box called T95 was infected with malware right out of the box, with multiple other researchers confirming the findings. But it was just the tip of the iceberg. This week, cybersecurity firm Human Security is revealing new details about the scope of the infected devices, hidden and connected web of fraud schemes linked to the streaming boxes. Researchers found 7 Android TV boxes and 1 tablet with the backdoors installed, and they've seen signs of 200 different models of Android devices that may be impacted. Woo! They're like a Swiss Army knife of doing bad things on the internet. Woo! First, bad box. Cheap Android streaming boxes usually cost less than $50 if sold online and in brick-and-mortar shops. These set-top boxes often are unbranded or unsold names, partially obscuring their source. Okay, be careful, people. Be careful. James Webb's telescope observations of impossible galaxies at the dawn of time may finally have an explanation. A new set of simulations suggests that the unusual brightness of early galaxies discovered by the James Webb Telescope could be because of a strange rapid burst mode of star formation. Cool. I want to check out Fortune's Run on Steam. That sounds really cool. Fortune's Run. Explore a decaying industrial world left behind in humanity's never-ending race to conquer the stars. Beneath its iron skies, desperate souls kill and steal for passage to the still plentiful frontier worlds. Sink or swim in this high-octane first-person shooter with immersive sim elements. Just looks really cool and retro, and you can get early access for $20. Fortune's Run. Okay, I think that's enough science and stuff news for now, everybody. Whew. Have a good day. Try to.